Well, hello, my Aquarians. How are you, my darlings? So, this is going to be a little different. I wanted you guys to see the chart that I'm like looking at when I'm looking at your stuff. And I thought maybe a visual interpretation where you could sort of put things together. So, I'm going to be talking about the houses, the solar eclipse. On the side up there in the corner, you'll see the spread that I did for you guys, and we'll go over that afterwards. I was sitting here meditating and looking at your chart before I did this, and I'm seeing like a whole bunch of things for you, but I don't want to make this video too long, and like there's a lot of information, so I'm going to try to be as concise as possible, and I will try to not let it go too long, but I am seeing like a lot of stuff that could be answers to what's going on with you guys. So, welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. Thank you so much for joining me. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including tarot, astrology, mediumship, energy work, like prana, healing touch, Reiki, hypnotherapy. I do all kinds of stuff to help you on your path. So, we're going to be talking about the solar eclipse that is going to be happening on the 15th. And it, my darlings, is going to be happening in your first house. So we have this lunar eclipse. And its energy with the full moon is going to be going on for it, like really intensely for 45 days, but for 3 months and up to 6 months or 4 months, right? So you still have that energy going on of what the full moon's about, what that lunar eclipse was about, which was letting go, which was completion of things, which was changes and karmic stuff and destiny and things happening, right? And so that's going to overlap this solar eclipse. And the solar eclipse has the new moon. And we know the new moon is about manifestation and abundance and moving into that new direction and revitalizing, re-energizing, getting very clear about things and sort of launching you into that direction, right? And so I did videos about 6 months ago with the solar and lunar eclipse. I will have the links down below to that or even on the side at the end of this video. And we have I have a full moon steps to take to let go of the energy and a new moon how to manifest, right? And so I'm gonna have those links down below if you want to check that out, maybe do that. I mean, you can call it rituals, you can call it steps to take, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but this is just so that it can help you with the energy that's here for us to use, right? So I'll try not to say so much. I noticed that in one of my videos that I said so a lot, so I apologize, and I just said it again. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, that's Aquarius. My ascending is Aquarius, so we're a little quirky that way. Aquarius, I'm going to talk about what the solar eclipse is. It's going to intensify this intensify this new moon, okay? For the next 3 months, especially the next 45 days, you're going to have the lunar eclipse energy and the solar eclipse energy. So it's about letting go and going new. Letting go, launching into that new thing. Letting go, bringing in manifestations. Letting go and doing that, right? So, oh my gosh, I keep saying so. This is the thing, and I've said this before, but in case you've never seen me, we all have, in our higher self, in our energetic selves, in our whole being, you have unlimited amounts of energy that you can run through you, right? But when we're here on this earth, with the laws of the universe and in this physical state, there is only so much energy that can run through us. If you have things that you've held on to, if you had things that you haven't made decisions about, if you have things that are old trauma that maybe you didn't even know, right, because of past things that happened and you just kept it moving and kept going and kind of forgot about it. Maybe you have an issue that you hadn't dealt with that you didn't want to look at, and then you sort of forgot about it and went on. That's all energy that you're holding onto in your world, in your life, on this earth. So the people that you have, the relationships that you have, the family, the friends, the loved ones, the car, the house, the work, your career, like all of that is energy that runs through you. And if you have all these old things that you haven't let go of, then you don't have room in your energetic field for your abundance to come in, for the things that you've been calling and trying to manifest to come in, right? This is why I ask you to do the steps to release that energy. This is why I ask you to do that in the full moon. But you have this time period in this next 3 months where you can, those things will come up and you can release them, and then your abundance has room to come in. Okay? Now, I'm going to have that video again. If you can remember what you were doing 6 months ago, like it was about the summertime, if you can remember the things that you started, the things that you were clearing, the things that you let go, but the things that, like the new projects, the new ideas, the new creations, the new inspirations, those things that you put energy into, that's going to sort of come up again. The solar eclipse is going to be in your first house, but the lunar eclipse was in your 7th house. So as you're releasing in the 7th house, you're gaining in your first house, right? Doesn't mean that you're not gaining abundance in your 7th house. It just means it's focused right now in your first house for receiving the new abundance. This other stuff is about, in your 7th house, about completions. So let's talk about this first house. Well, you know what? I thought about this before. I've been giving the characteristics of Aquarius, but you're Aquarius, but some people may be Aquarius and don't realize all of the characteristics. Maybe they're learning. So I'm going to go ahead and say the characteristics of Aquarius. So Aquarians are an air sign, but they're a fixed sign. So it gets confusing, and some people think that they're a water sign because they're the water barrier. They're not. They're an air sign, and they're a masculine sign. So Aquarians have this gift to be able to bring all things and everyone together. Aquarians have this way of giving people what they need and connecting everyone on the whole, right? Allowing and bringing everyone to grow together. They're humanitarians that way. Aquarians are sociable. They're sweet. These are the vibrations, the higher vibrations. Everyone, they're sociable. They're sweet. They speak the truth when they speak, or they're not going to speak. They let you assume a lot, but if you ask them the question, they're going to be honest and speak the truth. They're really old souls, and they're very eccentric. You're eccentric, and you're quirky, and you like being different. And the thing is that you will test people and things. Not just people. You'll test the universe, and you'll test things. You'll test situations. You do test. So you're very, very good at creating and building and manifesting. Your issue is trying to make sure that you're manifesting the right thing, right? But I want you to remember that you do test. Now, you have futuristic beliefs. I always say this about Aquarians. Aquarians are probably 150 years ahead of society. They can see things 150 years ahead. Their belief systems are in that direction, about 150 years ahead. And they want to bring that here. They love science. They love technology. I think it's beyond spirituality, but spirituality is the only name that we can sort of associate it to. But you understand that there's more than just spiritual. You understand that there's more than just New Age. You have this understanding of the more, right? You're very compassionate. You're very empathetic. You have a lot of love for the whole of humanity and for the whole of this earth, right? Now, that's sort of the higher vibration. In astrology, we have octaves. And the higher octaves are that, or the more evolved soul is that, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, people call it different things. Now, the lower octaves of an aqua, or you can call them a younger aqua, they can be really heartless. They can be cynical. They can be cold. They can be detached. They can be distant. They can be moody. And they have a fear of intimacy, right? And they have a fear of attaching too much, or attachment in itself, okay? So if you're a younger aqua, this is what you're sort of learning to come from. If you're an older aqua, you've probably already been through that, right? And so a younger aqua can lack tenderness and respect for others and intimacy, right? But through time and through experiences, you learn. And you learn that even though you are futuristic, and even though you can see society 150 years ahead, that you have to learn that you're here to learn how to sort of get along in this society, how to acclimate to this society, and bring your forward thought in, right? So that's a little bit about Aquarius. I'd been promising you guys that I was going to do an Aquarius video. I am going to start that, where I'm going to do the sign of Aquarius. I'm going to do all the signs, but I'll do you guys first. Okay? So let's talk about this solar eclipse in your first house. So what's the first house about? So the first house is about you, your identity in this world, right? So you could be talking about changes to you in your bodies. So you could be talking about changes, results happening, like working out, your health, results for something that you really desired. Pardon me, I'm still dealing with this bronchitis, so I'm trying not to cough. So it's the results of something you really desire or want, decisions, goals, balancing relationships, work, marriage, karmic events. These things will be prominent in like the next 3 months, okay? And it's about you you understanding who you are and what you want and what you're in the society about and what your sort of your mission and your purpose and all of that, right? So that's going to be really prominent with the solar eclipse. Now the solar eclipse itself, and it's a partial. Solar eclipse is like almost like clipping off that energy and putting you at 0 point energy. And 0 point energy has a lot of energy. And some of you aquas, I know this, that some of you aquas have actually been in that 0 point energy and you didn't realize that's what it was. So some of you have been in that place when you've meditated, or maybe you've slept, you were sleeping, or you know, that time that you spend by yourself and you go into those far off places. Like maybe there was like through that journey, I'm going to get kind of off here, but through that journey of maybe going to another place in meditation, or when you're just thinking, or when you're having that time alone, maybe there was a place where it just kind of swooshed you and you felt unbalanced and you just felt like a lot of energy. That's 0 point energy. So I know a lot of you have experienced that. Maybe some of you haven't and will. But that's 0 point energy. With this partial eclipse, it's going to take you almost to that 0 point energy, because it's a partial eclipse, but there's still a lot of energy there, and that energy will launch you in a new direction. So wherever you're wanting to go, wherever your creation and your inspiration and the thing that's you're thinking about and trying to create and trying to like build, and maybe you started 6 months ago and maybe it wasn't going your way, and maybe you kept going at it, and maybe now you're going to get very clear about it and it's going to launch you in that direction. Okay, that's what this solar eclipse is about for you. Okay, now in your 7th house, that's about relationships. So you were completing that, you had changes in that. So you could be talking about divorce or a marriage. Maybe you went to the next level with somebody who went into the marriage, or you're going to get married. Maybe you've been with somebody and you've decided to get a divorce. These things will be prominent in the next 3 months. Maybe you started the divorce or a separation, or started the engagement 6 months ago. Maybe you started that, or even 4 months ago or 3 months ago. That's going to be prominent again right now in the next 3 months. So that's what you'll be dealing with in the next 3 months. Now, as I look at this, I'm going to show you. So when I'm looking at your chart, you're aqua. This is you right here. So when I look, I was showing the others, but you're really easy because this is your first house, right? So when I'm looking at solar eclipse, this is the sol, this is the sun, this is the moon. It's going to eclipse at 27 degrees in your house. So these things will be prominent in this house. The great thing is that you have Mercury here, and it's conjunct to this eclipse, which means they're having a conversation, and Mercury is all about processing and communication. So these things that maybe didn't get clear or didn't look clear, or maybe they stalled or things were happening, you should be processing those in the next 3 months. You should be very clear. Things should be happening for you. And then when I look at your lunar eclipse, I go 1, 2, so this is 1, sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's Leo. That's your 7th house. That's opposite of you. Leo's opposite of you. And that's where your lunar eclipse was. And it has the north node in it. So you're very, very, the North Node is about being obsessed in learning something and trying to figure it out, right? And you're a fixed sign, so you can get really obsessed with this. And handling it in a Leo type way, which means kind of like Aquarius, except for Aquarius does it quieter. Leo is very pronounced, wants to be the center of attention, wants to get things right, and wants to be the leader in this, right? And that's all characteristics of you, but they do it loudly, where you will do it very quietly, okay? So I can see where this North Node is really trying to make you fix this or complete this or understand this more, right? While you're dealing with your first house too. But I like this Mercury conjunct the solar eclipse because it's going to help you process this. It's going to help you really take the actions that you needed to take. And like if you're starting to work out again, you may feel like I need to work out, or I need to eat better, or I need to take more nutrition, or maybe I'm going to cut my hair or color my hair. I need to change something. Like this has to do with your body and your image and your identity here in this world. And these things you're going to get very clear about. Now, what I was saying earlier is that you have all these planets here. We have Mercury, we have the Sun, we have the Moon, we have Venus, we have Neptune, we have Chiron. You have Pluto, you have Saturn, you have Mars, you have Jupiter over here, right? So I'm not going to go over the whole chart with you, but I do want to point out some things. So when I see a sextile, and I see a sextile with Venus and Saturn is in your 11th house. I'm sorry, 12th house. So this is your first house, this is your 12th house. When I'm seeing a sextile to me means opportunity. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. So there's something going on in your second house because your second house is lit up with these planets. Piscean, it's very Piscean right now, your second house. So second house is your money, your value, the value you put to your identity. So your money, your things. So, and it's got Pisces in there, it's got Neptune in there, and it's got Venus in there. Now, all three of those are about beautifying things and seeing the best things in all of it, but it can be very ethereal and not be grounded, right? That can happen when you have all those three in there. But the sextile in Saturn, which is very grounded, because Saturn is that planet that's the last planet that we can see. And Saturn is that energy where you're like, I see my dreams and I see my goal, but it's far away. But if I stretch and I keep stretching and I keep looking at it, I can bring it to me, or I can go to it. That's Saturn. That's the energy of Saturn. Saturn wants you to work for it. Saturn wants you to keep your eye on the prize. And Saturn will give you the gifts. It will bring it to reality for you. But it is just out of reach, and you have to lean into it. You have to make some effort to do this. And I'm seeing that in your second house with your money, with your things, with these goals that you have set for the value of you. Whether it's buying a car, buying a house, or buying all of it and having more stability in your life, having more finances in your life. I see where you can, with this energy, you're actually seeing the possibilities. And with this energy, because sextile means they're talking to each other, they're having the conversation, that you can actually do work, and there will be opportunities in this for this to make this happen, okay? That's really important that I'm seeing for you. Again, I'm seeing a lot of stuff, but I don't want to do the whole chart for you because it can be a long video. Just know that in your 12th house, you may have become isolated, and because you have Pluto and Saturn in there and Capricorn, you may have become isolated and obsessed with trying to figure out how to get this stuff done, how to be more stable. Not even just more stable, but I see this project, I see that I can make money, or I see that I can make humanity better, or I see like whatever this project or this goal is for you. It's almost like you isolated yourself in that area so that you could see things more clearly. And that's your 12th house, and Saturn is making you work really hard in it. Now, over the next year, 14 months, 15 months, Saturn is going to get closer to Pluto. Pluto is going to move a little bit, but it's going to get closer to Pluto. Pluto is all about transformation in this house. Your 12th house is about your past lives, you can say that, or your karmic stuff, Or if you don't believe in any of that, you can say it's the experiences that you wanted to experience in this lifetime. That's going to come through this 12th house. But a lot of times it's not shown to you. All of a sudden it's just delivered to you, okay? So you can become obsessed in this house and try to isolate. But as Saturn moves closer to Pluto in the next 14 to 16 months, I would say 14 months for you guys too, as that becomes closer to that, it's going to give you transformation if you've been working in this. Things are going to come through for you if you've been working hard. And Saturn and Capricorn work well together, but they want you to work for this. So understand that there's some opportunity coming in with your finances, having to do with beautifying, having to do with seeing the best thing, having to do with, very Piscean, Neptune-y, Venus happening stuff, right? And for some of you, you could actually, with Venus in there and Saturn sextiling, I mean, you could meet somebody at work or in your career. I can kind of see that for some of you. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is this 11th house in Sagittarius. You have Mars. So with Mars and Sagittarius in your 11th house, I feel like you're kind of fighting with yourself. I want to isolate, but I want to be sociable. I want to isolate, but I'm having to be sociable. I want to isolate, but I can see you going back and forth because Mars is in here with Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is friendly, and Mars gives you that energy for networking, for friends, for those things around you. And so I see that you want to be with people and you want to engage and you are having a good time, but this Saturn over here is like making you get serious about things and want to isolate too. So people wonder why Aquarians are like back and forth, back and forth. Well, there you go. That's why. So the other thing that I see is there's a sextile here again. And again, sextile to me means opportunity. So we have Jupiter sextiling Pluto, which means there's opportunity and transformation in your 10th house. Your 10th house is all about your persona, your career, what you do in this world, your status in this world. With Jupiter in Scorpio, it's having you delve deep into that, deep into your career, deep into you knowing why you are here, what it is that you came here to do in your mission and all of that, right? Your status here, what's going on here. But Jupiter is the guru, so it makes you expand in this house. And Scorpio, being the detective, is trying to make you figure it out, right? But you will get blessings with this. You will get abundance with this. So with this sextile being with Pluto, I feel like if you've been working really hard, and some of you have for like a while now, if you've been working really hard on your career, if you've been working really hard, and yeah, sometimes you had to like take a break, but you still have kept your eye on your prize, right? And so you tweaked, and so you did other things, and so it wasn't coming through. I can see where this is almost like gonna expand for you, and I can see your careers, your life purpose, your status in this world becoming bigger. I can see you figuring it out because Scorpio wants you to figure it out, and I can see you getting the gifts of this, especially with this Pluto. It's gonna transform you in this next year. We're talking about big transformation for you out in the world this year if you've been working really hard. Okay, so that's all I'll say about the houses and what's going to be going on. I mean, there's a lot more that I was seeing, but I don't want to go over everything with you guys. You can always book a session with me. We can go over your planets, we can go over your chart, and we can do a reading. That link to my website will be down below, so you're welcome to do that. So now I'm going to give me a second, and I'm going to expand this. So just bear with me. Okay, so I did the spread for the next 3 months. The King of Cups is usually what's crossing the first position, which is the Eight of Swords, but I wanted you to be able to see it. So let's talk about this spread. So for you right now, your position is the Eight of Swords. And this is funny enough because the Eight of Swords is about testing. The Eight of Swords is about putting your money where your mouth is, right? So the Eight of Swords is, it's almost like you're coming to this place where you're going to have the abundance and the things that you really have created, that you've been working so hard on in the last 2 years, and it's going to come through. And they're saying this testing is about you being responsible in that. You understanding that it is your dream and you are creating that, but to do that, you have a community, you have people around you, you have people, whether it's your career, whether it's your family, whether it's your love life, that you have other people to consider. And so this Eight of Swords is about you feeling like you can't get out of this bubble. And it's like the universe and people are testing you to see if you can get out of this bubble. I know that's a very different way to say this card, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like you're feeling, and I think on some level you're sensing this, like, I want to be successful, but I'm a little scared to be successful, because that comes with a lot of responsibility, a lot of energy, a lot of all of that. And can I make the right decisions? And can I do the right thing? Right? That's what I'm feeling with you guys in this position. Now, what's crossing you, and I wouldn't even say that the universe is testing you. I think you and your higher self are testing you. That's what I'm thinking. So what's crossing you is this King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups, this is Spirit's advice in this position. The King of Cups is this beautiful, beautiful energy. This king is one that doesn't have to speak very often. Like, he can just go in the room. He's very intuitive, and you know he means business, but he's very kind and he's very loving. And that's what Spirit is saying about you. They're saying step into who you are. Step in to what you know to be true. Don't let that ego and that fear get in the way, because you've worked really hard to get to this place. So be the King of Cups. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your soul. Listen to your heart, right? Listen to that and step into what is yours. Step into what's always been yours. Take that humanitarianism, the way that you want to progress the world, and progress it, because we got your back. We always have. Okay? That's what I'm seeing as their advice, is just stick to you, listen to you. You're on the right track. Now, what you came from, and I'm sorry for the glare, you can't see it, but it's the Palace of Wands. So you were in a place where you were trying to figure out what steps to take, what actions to take, being sort of methodical in it, where you got too fixed and methodical, and it kind of overwhelmed you. Like, I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this, and it's just too much. Can I do it? Do I really have the energy to do it? Can I really make it what I said I could make it, or what I see, right? And that's what put you in this position. And they're just wanting to relieve that, to say that with this King of Cups, you can. It is yours. What you saw in your vision, what you saw when you went over there in that reality, or in that futuristic stuff, was real. And so you're just bringing it to the physical. So step into who you are, right? That's what you'll be dealing with in this next 3 months. Now, in your fourth position, you have the Justice. And I'm sorry, I am using the cursor, but you can't see it on the screen. So the fourth position is from now to the next month, right? So the next 30 days. I mean, it could be off a little because this is a big group. But the Justice is about balance, and it's about making the right decisions. You see that sword in the middle, that double-edged sword in the middle? It's about having the knowledge and the experience to justify the decisions that you make. Like, making the decisions, first of all, getting centered where your goal, your personal goals, and the goals of humanity fit together, because there's a way to do that, right? And so that's what the Justice is about. Like, when you're making a decision, is it all about you, or is it about you and the whole, right? Because there's a balance in that, and that's what this Justice is about. It's about working in that in the next month. When a decision comes to you that you have to make, you're not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about 3 or 4 steps ahead, and how is that going to affect everyone and myself, right? In balance. Like, I mean just as much as everyone else means. That's what this justice is about for you. For others of you, this could be about your marriages or your divorces, because it's the justice. So we could be dealing with paperwork. But for the bigger picture, I kind of see this as being you working in those decisions that you're making. And if you think about it, a divorce and a marriage is including somebody else. It's including, you could have children involved. It's including everybody. So you have to take those steps. You have to really think about those decisions that you're making. Because again, you're practicing for when you get to this point, when you get to the abundance. Can you really handle your abundance? Can you really do that? That's what you're trying to figure out, right? So in your 5th position, up above the 8 of Swords, you have the 4 of Coins. And so that's that's your higher self. I always ask your higher self, what is the one message they want to bring through to help you move forward in love? And love to me is that vibration. Love to me is that energy that moves through all vibrations, right? So the 4 of Coins is about somebody who has been protected and somebody who has maybe inherited their money and then sort of keeps it to themselves or really spends everything and doesn't know how to deal with it, right? But the 4 of Coins, what you learn from that, and this is their advice, is that when you have this abundance, when you have these big companies, when you have this big relationship, this big love, this big partner, this family that you want, these things that you want, this abundance that you want, that you're making the right decisions and that you're making it for yourself and others involved, right? And that's what they're saying, that you're learning that you're in the middle of, do you want to be this 4 of Coins, or do you want to be where you don't eat? So, because you can get this abundance and they can bring it to you right now, but are you going to be in that space where you don't know what to do with it, and so you hoard it all and you don't give any away? Or are you going to be the other one, the opposite end, and give it all away and then have nothing left? You have to find the balance in that. And it's interesting because Gemini went through this about 6 months ago. So I feel like this is kind of where you're at. So that's their advice. Now, in your 6th position, you have the Star. So the 6th position to me is month 2 and 3. And the Star is all about, if you look up here at this card in the the top left-hand corner of this card, the Star card, you have Aquarius, which is all about connecting to your higher self, all about connecting to the universe, all about connecting to spirit, connecting to God, connecting to source, whatever you call them, right? It's about really being connected so that as you make these decisions, it's almost fated and you'll know what to do. And as this abundance comes in and as these things come in and as you let go of things, you'll be making the right decisions for you on your path and for others around you, okay? That's what you'll be dealing with in month 2 and 3. Now, in your 7th position, which is down at the bottom and you can't really see it, sorry about that, you have the Chariot. This is your fear. So your fear is, am I making the right decision? The Chariot is all about, taking the bull by the horns and going, right? And that's your fear. If I go, am I going to make a mistake? If I make this decision, am I going to make a mistake? If I make that decision, am I going to make a mistake? And so you don't make a decision and you put it off and you let it go. And then your dreams don't come through of what you saw. And it's because you're not giving it energy and you're not making the decisions that you need to make. Remember, a fear is just there to remind you of what you don't want. So you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to make the wrong decision. You got to trust yourself to know. And this is what this is about. This is about you practicing in that. So when that comes, you'll know, I don't want that. I'm going to do this. I don't want to stay stuck in the middle. I want energy to come in. I want my abundance to come in. So I'm going to do what it takes, right? And yeah, I'm going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. That's part of learning. How can you become the master if you don't make mistakes, right? So don't get caught up in staying in the middle. Make the decision, take the action, and do it. Have faith in yourself and trust yourself, okay? Now, in your 8th position, this is the universe, or this is a loved one, the way they see you, And this is the universe, that the way that they'll be handling you. This is the way they're handling you in the next 3 months, okay? You have the world. The world is a positive, you guys like negative, positive card. You can't go wrong with the world. And that's what the universe, spirit, oneness, God, source, your loved ones, your higher self, they're all trying to tell you that. You can't go wrong. Any decision that you make, you can't go wrong because you're Aquarian. You're going to figure it out, but you can't go wrong. You've set yourself up. You saw those things in the future. You're trying to bring those things to the material world. You can't go wrong. Doesn't matter if you turn left. That's a right way. That's the correct way. If you turn right, that's the correct way. The world is all about bringing the spiritual, bringing the energy into the physical manifestation, and you can't go wrong. That's what they're trying to help you. That's what you'll be learning and understanding in the next 3 months. Okay? Now, in your 9th position, this is your hopes and dreams, but I like to call it that energy that you've sort of called into and that sort of line that you're on. You have the Palace of Swords. The Palace of Swords is all about the state of mind. And it's a sword, so it's about the energy you're bringing into you about, as I'm making these decisions, I'm going to be able to say yes to this person, no to this person, cut this person out, bring this person in, do these things, take the action, think outside the box. I am one who thinks outside the box. I am futuristic. I am seeing things that other people don't normally see. And I'm going to make the decisions based on that and the society. But the Palace of Swords gives you that clarity and that knowledge and that mental state to do that. Okay? That's what's coming in for you. So, in your 10th position, you have the Ace of Wands. So the 10th position is about the overall outcome of what will be going on in the next 3 months. Okay? So this is like the main theme. So you have lots of starts happening. The Ace of Wands is about these big starts. They're very passionate. They're very fast moving. And when they start, you better be ready. You got to take the action and go with the flow because it's this energy that's moving. And I see this in a lot of areas of your life. It's time, Aqua. It's time. You're holding your abundance back because of some fear or because of something that you think you know, but you don't know everything. You know a lot from your higher self. You know everything from your higher self. But from here, you've made yourself not know everything so that you can experience these things. So, but you can feel energy. And with this Ace of Wands, you'll feel when this is a start. It's like it's a train that's going fast, and it's going to take a while before it stops. And so they're saying, with this Ace of Wands, take the action, make that start, keep it rolling, keep it going, and your abundance will be coming in. So I see a lot of good things for you guys, but it's about your decisions, and it's about your allowing. Are you going to allow your abundance in? Are you ready for your abundance? Because that's kind of what's been holding a lot of you back. That's basically what's been holding a lot of you back. Not everybody, but a lot of you. Okay? It's like, I want to be abundant. I want to be stable. I want to have a lot of money. I want to have a lot of friends. I want to have the love of my life, but can I do it? Can I do it? Can I stay in the abundance? Because that's a lot of energy. But you can. You're Aqua. You can. All right, my gorgeous ones. I hope I helped. I love you, love you, love you. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't seen me before and you like what you see. And let me know how you like the new format. Love you, love you, love you. Bye.